Let's start with the Sussexes feud with the Beckhams. According to Lady C, and I know she has a lot of fans amongst royal watchers, it was David and Victoria Beckham who cut ties with the Sussexes, not the other way.
Harry, okay, you're not ready for this one. Word on the royal grapevine is that Prince Harry is absolutely fuming behind the scenes. Like, beyond mad. The Invictus Games? Yep, his beloved project, his golden legacy, his last big royal win, has apparently decided to drop him as the face of the 2026 event. And who are they replacing him with? None other than David Beckham. Yes, that David Beckham. The global football god. The humanitarian sweetheart, the polished, well-loved, camera-perfect royal sympathizer. It's not just a replacement, it's a complete dethroning. Harry isn't just being sidelined, he's being booted out of his own legacy, and it's...
Beckham's basically said, you know, well, why waste our time with these people? They just are incapable of getting along with anybody? Are they incapable of not playing the victim?
Brutal. Can we talk about how this must feel for Harry? After everything, the documentaries, the royal exit, the drama, the falling out with his own family. Now even Invictus, the one thing he still had, is slipping through his fingers. His influence? Gone. Media deals? Collapsed. Friendships? Strained. And now this? Invictus walking away from him like he's yesterday's news? The last pillar of his identity is crumbling, and honestly, he has no one else to blame but himself. Let's be honest, David Beckham isn't just a name. He's a brand. A universally adored, zero drama, always smiling football legend of a...
But, you know, I'm so glad that Lady C made this point, Rita. And also, I don't know if you've heard Tom Bauer discuss how David Beckham showed up to support Prince Harry at Invictus. And he was overheard saying, when do I get to see Harry? Can I see...
Brand. Let's face it, Beckham is the dream. He's a style icon, a devoted dad, a global humanitarian. And now, the new face of Invictus. While Harry is stuck rehashing old interviews and old feuds, Beckham walks into the room and just wins people over. People don't argue about David, they love him. Across classes, generations, countries, the man is just loved. And if you're the Invictus Games Committee, are you going to stick with the guy constantly making headlines for all the wrong reasons? Or choose someone who brings nothing but good PR?
Reports that Meghan Markle put the kibosh on David getting any photos with Prince Harry at Invictus because she felt like David and Victoria would outshine her in some way, so she wanted to make sure that they weren't photographed together and didn't allow Harry.
Honestly, it wasn't even a difficult decision. On one hand, you've got Prince Harry and with all his baggage, tension, and controversies, and on the other hand, you have Beckham, a stable, iconic, positive. He lifts the brand up. Harry, on the other hand, he just drags it into his personal drama. Insiders say the Invictus Foundation is over it. The constant headlines, the Sussex circus, the emotional interviews, it's become too much. Invictus was supposed to be about veterans, about resilience, about honor, but lately, it's been all about the drama, the interviews, the feuds, all thanks to Harry and Meghan.
Conversation, and she stops because she's startled that somebody has grabbed her and is relocating her, and it's Meghan just taking it upon herself to adjust this woman for a photo. I have to tell you that so far is my favorite video from Invictus.
It is incredible. She made a little speech, of course, which were...
Speaking of Meghan, no, she was never directly spotted with Jeffrey Epstein. But let's not act like she was a stranger to those high society circles. The names that popped up on Epstein's flight logs? Yeah, those same names were at yacht parties, exclusive events, and cozy gatherings Meghan just so happened to be at during her Hollywood climb. Figures like Ghislaine Maxwell, regulars at the same events Meghan was attending, and her defenders can cry coincidence all they want, but come on, it's a pattern, and it's a dangerous one.
Embedded with this amazing Invictus Games thing that he had invented, that, you know, he loved it more than anything else, and that she said, the great thing is that we're all part of one big family. You know, you're my family and you're his family. And all I could think of was, well, she's obviously trying to say that he doesn't have a family because they're all horrible racists. They all live in England.
This wasn't just bumping into people at big charity galas. These were tight circles, small events, influential rooms. And Meghan? She wasn't casually invited. She worked her way into them, climbed, hustled, plotted her way in. And now, she's pretending they never happened. But the past isn't staying buried. A friend from those early Hollywood days, someone who lived with her, worked with her, knew her ambition inside and out, is speaking out. And what they're saying? It's damning.
You talk to no one from your family, so I better just bask in the glow of your temporary, you know, kindness.
There is that problem. My other favourite story of the weekend was the Spotify one, where it turns out that the people who worked at Spotify had more nicknames for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex than anybody ever knew, including Ginge and Whinge.
According to this former friend, Meghan's rise wasn't about luck or talent. It was cold, calculated strategy. She targeted people with influence, money, connections, yachts, private parties, you name it. She wasn't looking for friendships. She was looking for a ladder. And those beach parties and Mediterranean getaways, they weren't innocent trips. They were steps. Steps up into elite society. And now, in hindsight, those steps look way too close to the world of Epstein, Ghislaine, and the rest of those shady figures.
Called her Eva, named after, I think, one of the, was it Joan Crawford from the 1990 camp classic Queen Bee?
Yeah, I mean, those are actually pretty tame compared to what I hear on the streets of Los Angeles. So I think that they should encourage those versus what people say.
Let's talk about that mysterious digital wipeout. When Meghan got engaged to Harry, suddenly everything disappeared. Her Instagram, gone. Her blog, deleted. All those sunny glam yacht photos, vanished. But here's the thing. The internet never forgets. Investigators dug through old metadata, recovered geotags, and guess what? A lot of those beach photos were from Monte Carlo, Cannes, and the Amalfi Coast, hotspots when the Epstein crew was most active in Europe. Why delete those photos unless you had something to hide?
Of the fire damage and devastation. So,
and the Billie Eilish business, right?
Oh my gosh. Like, whenever I do a good deed, I like to name drop 30,000 people that don't even like the post or acknowledge that I'm giving them a shout out.
Absolutely right. And also...
and get this, around the time Meghan was getting vetted by the palace before her engagement, they found all this. The royal team saw the flags. They knew, but they were terrified. Rejecting Harry's girlfriend again, after Chelsea and Cressida, it would have caused chaos, so they stayed quiet. A senior royal aide admitted it. The decision wasn't about protecting the crown. It was about protecting Harry's feelings. And now, that silence is biting back. Because the monarchy is caught in Meghan's unraveling web, a web they saw coming and ignored. And as more revelations pile up, people aren't just angry at Meghan, they're angry at the silence, the complicity. Because that squeaky clean image Meghan sells, the philanthropist, the activist, the royal victim, it's cracking. And what's underneath is starting to show. Her climb to power wasn't just ambition, it was manipulation. Her team scrubbed the internet, scrubbed her past. But now, it's all coming back. Let's just say it. Meghan Markle is no longer in control. The narrative she spent years curating is unraveling, and the worst part? It's not the tabloids doing the damage anymore. It's the truth she tried so hard to bury. Her public image is now in crisis mode. We're talking press releases, staged photo ops, and carefully worded fluff stories about baking, charity, and wellness, all suddenly flooding our feeds. She's back in the spotlight, yes, but this time not as a glowing duchess or social justice icon. This time it's desperate, calculated, transparent. Insiders are calling it what it is, a classic PR distraction strategy. One Hollywood publicist even said, "This is textbook. When a scandal is about to break, you flood the media with heartwarming, wholesome nonsense to drown out the noise. But guess what? It's not working. And here's why people are angry. It's not about the parties, or the beaches, or the boats. It's the fact that she pretended they never happened. She lied, then built a brand on a version of herself that just isn't real. When your entire public identity is based on truth, authenticity, and standing up for women, your real past matters. Not because of what you did, but because of what you claimed you didn't do. The betrayal isn't in the history, it's in the cover-up. And now, even her closest allies are backing away. Quietly, carefully, but noticeably. Netflix, not thrilled. Sources say they've been seriously underwhelmed with Meghan's content. That cooking show she was planning? Word is it's been shelved, silently. No press release. Just disappeared. Even Oprah, yes, the Oprah, has gone silent. No public statements, no interviews, and her team reportedly reassessing all future projects with Meghan. Not out of pettiness, but out of risk management. Because when the most powerful woman in American media and the biggest streaming platform on earth both start stepping back, that's not a coincidence. That's a PR disaster. What started as a Cinderella-style reinvention is now looking more like a slow-motion implosion. Meghan tried to rebrand herself, but the rebrand has backfired. Badly. Her obsession with controlling the narrative has done the opposite. It's exposed just how much she's been trying to hide. The more she spins, the more tangled it gets. And now, the truth is breaking through the cracks. Because you can't fake authenticity. You can't erase history. And the more she tries to distract us, the more obvious it all becomes. Here's the brutal truth. Meghan built an empire on the image of a wronged, strong, honest woman. But people are now seeing the calculated ambition behind that empire. The manipulation. The performance. And it's not just about her anymore. It's about what this says to every woman watching. If you can rewrite your past, silence your critics, and profit off of half-truths while calling yourself a victim, then what message does that send? Because here's what's happening. Meghan isn't just being questioned now, she's being exposed. And Harry? He's watching it all fall apart. First the royals, then the media deals. Now, Invictus, his last real legacy, taken away and handed over to someone with real public trust. Someone like David Beckham. Ouch. And here's the kicker. Harry and Meghan once counted the Beckhams among their close circle. Victoria and David even attended their wedding. But now, things are frosty. Rumors say Meghan was the one who caused the fallout, accused the Beckhams of leaking stories to the press, a claim David Beckham was reportedly furious about. That friendship? Done. Burned. Gone. So the fact that Beckham is now stepping into Harry's shoes as the face of Invictus, that's not just PR. That's personal. The message is loud and clear. The world doesn't want drama, it wants dignity. The Invictus Games chose stability, humility, and universal appeal. And in the end, that meant choosing David Beckham and walking away from the Sussex brand entirely. And with Meghan's carefully curated image collapsing, with allies pulling away, and with even Harry's strongest legacy being handed off to someone else, it's clear the unraveling has begun, and this time, there's no stopping it.